What is it that motivates a person? Everyone is different. Everyone is motivated by something different. And sometimes it takes something real out of the ordinary to motivate someone. My motivation when I was young, I always wanted to be a cowboy. That was my goal in life, was to really be a cowboy and to rodeo and to do the things and all this. And at one time, I would go to Wyoming every year. I had a friend of mine up there, and they had cattle, and we were part of a kind of a moving the cows up to the top of the mountain and so forth and so on. It's a long story, but I would go up there every year and work with Mark Cutter, and kind of felt like I was a cowboy. And you would get out and work, and you worked for 4 or 5 days, and you didn't shower. You didn't, you kind of lived the cowboy life. And I was up there, and there was a lady there that owned a ranch, and she was asking Mark. She said, I guess that guy's kind of a homeless guy just looking for work, and I might hire him if he wanted to work here at the ranch. And I thought that was the greatest compliment that I'd ever had, and I would, because it motivated me, because I thought maybe somebody thought I was a cowboy. Mark told her, said, well, he's actually written a book, and he told her about this book, Coaching to Change Lives, and so she took a copy of the book and she started reading it. And then she came to me and she said, Coach, I'd really like for you to talk to my son. I said, no, I don't want to do that. And she said, why? I said, well, me talking to your son is a complete waste of time. He has no idea who I am. He doesn't want to be motivated by me. I'm not somebody that's going to motivate him to do anything. And she said, well, I just wish you would visit with him. So I said, okay, I will certainly do that. So I met with him the next morning, and he had purple hair, and he had earrings and nose rings and tongue rings and a little bit of everything else. And he was about as interested in talking to me as one of those cows that we were dealing with. He would roll his eyes and look this and all that. So we talked for 15 or 20 minutes. And then I left and went back to Texas, back to coaching. That Christmas, I received a gift certificate for a pair of Lucchese boots. Those are really good boots, by the way. And so I called the lady and I said, my wife's a little curious about why you would send me a gift certificate for boots. And she said, you saved my son's life. I said, you gotta be kidding me. She said, no. I said, we started doing that curriculum. And we did it 15 minutes every day, just like you said. And he has completely changed. What do you think changed him? Do you really think that curriculum changed him? No. They spent 15 minutes a day together, the two of them. The beauty of this curriculum, it's nothing that's written in here. The beauty of this curriculum is that you spend 15 or 20 minutes every day with your players or with your students, and they understand that you're trying to make them better people. They realize that you don't care if they play quarterback, if they're a point guard, if they're a straight A student, if they're a failure. They don't care if you have parents. They don't care what your socioeconomic status is. They realize that you are spending 15 to 20 minutes with them every day to help them become better people. And when they realize that you're going to put out that time to spend to help them, guess what it motivates them to do? All of a sudden, they become better people. And it's all based on, it's got nothing to do with this. This is simply a vehicle that you're using to motivate them to be a better you. But the real key to it is that you're taking the time out of your day, out of your practice, in order to make it. When I started doing this, I promised the players I would never again give them a speech at the end of practice. Ever. I hated those. I hated them when I played. I never listened to any speech at the end of practice. I was so glad to get it over with, I just wanted to go home. And I promised our players I would never talk to them at the end of practice or at the end of a game. All I would do, if they would give me 15 minutes at the beginning, bring their curriculum and bring a notebook and a pencil and answer these questions and do this, that I would trade it for every after practice, after game speech. And they said, we'll be glad to do it, Coach. Motivation. So they did. Did it change? I think it changed a lot of players. I've heard from lots of players that it did. The beauty of this curriculum is not what's in it. It's the time you spend, the motivation.